there, my name is Kay Gruner. I'm a licensed attorney, and I am going to be talking today about filing a BOI report for U.S. businesses in 2024. Let's get right into it. So, the Corporate Transparency Act, this is where this law comes from. It was enacted actually in 2021, but as of January 1, 2024, this BOI report filing is required and in effect. So, the federal agency is called FinCEN, that's FINCEN, and you can visit their website, fincen.gov/BOI, if you have remaining questions after you watch this video. What, where, when, how, why, etc. Let's start with that. What? So the report itself is very short and simple, asking for simply identifying information for both the business itself as well as the beneficial owners and in some cases applicants for the business when it was filed with the Secretary of State. Why? The purpose of the law is to prevent illegal activity like tax fraud and money laundering in the US, bad guy stuff that is just made easier when you allow anonymously owned businesses. Who? Most owners of LLCs, C Corps, and S Corps in the US are required to file this report moving forward, depending on when you filed your business with your state's Secretary of State, where you'll be filing this report online at fincen.gov/BOI. When? Okay, so if your business was registered with the Secretary of State before January 1st, 2024, so existing businesses that predated January 1, you have the entire year 2024 to get this done. You do need to do this sooner than later just to make sure that you are not pushing up against that time frame, because there are consequences, fines you can get, and even prison time if you really mess up on this. That's probably not likely if you make an actual mistake or are confused, but you really do need to get this done. And if your company is registered on January 1st, 2024 or later, then you have 90 days from that date of formation. How? The quick summary of how is you're going to gather all of your key business information as well as information of every owner of that business, and you're going to fill out the simple online form and you're going to submit it online. If you are confused about anything when you go to this form and check it out, trust me, it's very simple, easy to follow form. But if you get confused and there's a question you don't know the answer to, I say do not submit it that day. Find the information, put everything into a Word doc so that you're ready, and submit it another day. It's better to be accurate than to submit something and have to amend or update the information because you made a mistake. Let's try not to do that. So I'm going to break it down step by step to ensure you are legally compliant when you do take steps to file your BOI report. Step 1. Determine whether this actually applies to your company. So the definition of reporting companies in this act, it depends on this question. Was the entity required to file a document with their Secretary of State? For example, LLCs, S Corps, C Corps, those are the main ones. If yes, then you may have to file this report. There are 23 exemptions that apply, meaning there are companies that don't have to file the report, but they do have to file something to prove that they have an exemption. So either way, they still have to file. This includes some public companies, certain regulated businesses, large operating companies, certain trusts or foundations. But if you are a typical small business owner, single member LLC, maybe a couple of owners, not a lot of employees, you likely have to file this. Another thing to keep in mind is that sole proprietors and general partnerships are generally not going to have to do this. FinCEN has said it itself that sole proprietors and general partnerships, because they're not required to have these formation documents with the Secretary of State in their states, that they are not required to do this either. Step 2, figure out who are going to be your beneficial owners. Now, this is not as simple as simply the owners that are like listed in your operating agreement or listed as managers or members of your LLC. It could include others. The definition, according to this act, of a beneficial owner is a person who has substantial control over the company or owns or controls at least 25%. What is substantial control though? So this may be maybe like a non-owner, but somebody else. This includes senior officers. These are examples given by FinCEN, key decision makers, or others with a high level of control of how the business operates. Also, for some companies that are formed on January 1, 2024 or after, you have to share this information about company applicants. So you have beneficial owners, you have company applicants. So I'm not going to go into detail about that today, but let me know if you have questions about it. Just know that it is different from beneficial owner, and it's only for companies that are formed on or after January 1, 2024. Step 3, get all of your information together. Before you file your BOI report, get the following information ready in a Word document so that the process is very quick and smooth and you're not wasting any of your time. First of all, for the company itself, the legal name of the company, any trade name or DBA that you have that's doing business as, the company's US address, tax ID such as FEIN. For the beneficial owners, you need the full name name. So this is a person, right? An actual person. Date of birth, residential address, an ID document such as passport or driver's license. And you will need an actual photo of that ID document. Step 4, finalize and submit your report online through the BOI e-filing system on fincen.gov/BOI. And that's it. I told you it was so simple, right? I do have some tips though, some final thoughts on making this process go very smoothly for you. Number 1, I've seen this advice elsewhere and I disagree with it, at least to the extent that I want to put you on warning. Don't dissolve your LLC or decide not to form one because of this requirement. Sole proprietors don't have to file these reports, that's true, but then they are putting their personal assets at risk if they don't have a protective entity such as an LLC or corporation. Maybe there are some cases where that's a good idea, but I would not make that decision without consulting an attorney about your specific circumstances. This is not going to be like a public database, and it is not that burdensome of a requirement, and I generally recommend having an LLC or other entity like that over having a sole proprietorship. So don't hastily make that decision. Second tip, make sure that you actually use the .gov website. Anytime that government filings come into place, there will be these third parties have websites that kind of look like they're the real thing, and then they trick you into paying money. It's just scammy. They're trying to take advantage of confused business owners. So make sure that you are on the .gov. When you're ready, make a FinCEN account. So when you go to that FinCEN.gov, make an account, get your FinCEN identifier. This can make the whole process just simpler and more streamlined, and this requirement is not going away. So get that stuff done as well. When you are done, when you have submitted your BOI report, make sure that you update your report if information changes. So all of the information that you put into the report, for example, your legal name and your address and things like that, if you move, if you get married and change your name, you have to update that report, and you only have 30 days to do it from the date of the change. So do keep up with that. Don't forget about this. It doesn't end once you hit submit. FinCEN has some of its own guidance that I recommend you check out. They have a compliance guide for this BOI requirement. I will put the link in the description. And they also have a newsletter that you can sign up for to receive updates. You can choose to get those weekly and just delete them as they come in, or you can, set a calendar appointment to periodically check on this to make sure that you're still compliant, maybe twice a year or something. So those are the tips that I have for you. Good luck. You got this. I got you. And if you have any questions, or if there's something that I didn't cover or maybe confused you about this throughout the video, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you next time in the Creator Cafe. Thanks for being here. Bye.